Now, if your New Year's resolution seems a long way away now, you might be interested in some advice from life coach Pam Sidhu. Pam, thanks very much for staying on and talking to us. What can we do to make sure that those promises we made to ourselves at the dawn of New Year, those resolutions about kind of decluttering our minds, our lives and moving forward, what can we do to make them become a reality?
Well, that's a very good question, really, isn't it? Because there's a lot that we can do. And one of those things is to take charge of the mind so that we get into the position where we are actually running the show, people might think, well, hang on, we're running the show anyway. But did you know that scientifically it's been proven that we think roughly on average about 70,000 different thought processes in one day. And that's a lot of thoughts that are running through our mind. And a lot of them are on repeat. And it can get quite tiring, really, as well, can't it? So
I see a lot of people feel that they're very busy, very tired, always on the go, etc. But they're not moving about at all. It's those things that we hold in our hands, which is kind of preoccupying people.
Yes. Well, today more than ever as a society, the mind is more and more fragmented. There's just so many different things to distract us, our phones, and then there's many different things running on our phones, many different things happening out around us. Our minds are constantly taking in more and more information. And often we get home at the end of a long, busy day and we think, right, we're going to relax now. We sit down, the body's relaxing, but the mind is still taking in lots of information. So using that analogy of even the phone, as you suggested there, one of the things that we can do with by using different mindfulness techniques and by using NLP, which is another thing that I'm trained in here, is if you imagine that the mind is like a computer, and if a computer, you have lots of different windows running, if you have lots of different apps even running on your phone, say, for example, it's going to work slower. It's not going to work as well. But if you can get it down to just running one thing, it's going to run a lot better. So bringing it back to your New Year's resolutions, if you, say, for example, are focusing on being happier, losing weight or having a more successful relationship or job or whatever it may be, if there's just that one thing running in our mind, it's a lot easier to achieve. Whereas if it's, say, for example, using food, yes, I want to be healthy and I want to be slimmer. Oh, but I'll just have a little bit of that. Then there's other things there running in the mind. And what I do with people through weekly classes that I do at Deda on a Tuesday evening, and also I'm going to be running some events here locally, is I just help you get your mind in the right place. And if we imagine the mind can be like a garden, when we have this garden, we want to spend more time watering the flowers. We want to make sure that the soil in the garden is nice and fertile so that when we plant things, they're going to grow and they're going to grow well. And this is what we tend to do at the beginning of the year, is when we set our resolutions, when we set our goals for the year, we're planting those seeds and we want them to grow well. But often if we've got negative things going on in the mind, they, using the analogy of the garden, they can be like the weeds, they can get in the way. And what I do with people is I just help you plant those seeds. First of all, create that fertile soil in your mind, bring up those positives. We've all had lots and lots of good things happen in our lives. And it's just about knowing how to bring them to the forefront of the mind, how to be so single-minded also in what you want to come about in your life, and plant those positive seeds. Of course, as well as resting the mind by living in the present moment.
You're running some classes to teach people to do all that, to kind of get rid of the negativity and focus on the positives. What exactly do you do in that class, and what can people expect?
So in my weekly classes, which is on a Tuesday evening at 6:45 at Deda, that is a mindfulness class. People can come along. They can expect to relax, learn how to relax the mind, learn different mindfulness techniques that they can take away with them, where they can practice it throughout the week, of how to bring the mind into the moment. And also in the class, there's some guided meditations that we do every week. And all a person needs to do is really come along with an open mind, and I do all the work there. So.
Is it possible to kind of get rid of all the thoughts? I mean, we've got so many thoughts, and you mentioned how many we've got in our head at any one time. Is it practically possible to, even for half an hour, to get rid of them and just focus on one thing?
It is possible. Half an hour is a big target, you know. It is possible. I mean, even Einstein, he said that he was a genius because he was able to focus on one thing for longer than the average person is able to. But the thing is, the mind needs something to attach itself to. So, for example, when I'm teaching the mindfulness, we'll use different techniques, different things that the mind can actually attach itself to. Now, that's the 1 hour classes that I do on a Tuesday evening. But on the 19th of January, here in Derby at Deda, I'm going to be running a workshop, which is 5 hours. So it's from 10:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon. And it really, I mean, the good thing about it being a 5 hour workshop is people get to come and imagine we're like an onion. We've got different layers. So, you know, at first you've got all your stress, you've got your tension, and you need time to be able to strip that away and get to that deep point of relaxation. And once we're at that deep point of relaxation, we often hit that mental clarity where then we can think, oh, hang on, yeah, this is what I would like to happen this year. This is what I would like to focus on, because sometimes we're so busy in the mind we don't even know what we want. So what I'm doing on the 19th of January here at Deda is I'm creating that space for people to come along, experience the mindfulness and have time to focus on their goals, as well as create that positivity in the mind.
Is it similar to yoga?
It is similar to yoga, but in terms of mental rather than physical. We do in mindfulness, there are such a thing as mindful movements, where you're actually focusing on the movement that you're making at the time. But it's just another technique of giving the mind something to attach itself to so that you're in the present moment.
Do you feel that people are more stressed these days?
I think so, definitely. I think social isolation is on the increase. January, for example, is a time where people tend to have less money. Relationships are higher in terms of breaking up. It's dark winter months, you know, so this is a time, I think, more so than the summer, when people kind of really need to kind of dig a little bit deeper and access something like this.
Okay, remind us once again of how people can attend one of your classes and see whether mindfulness is for them.
Yes, so I run Tuesday evening classes at Deda at 6:45 p.m. till 7:45 p.m. I'm going to be running a 5 hour workshop on the 19th of January, which is quite exciting really, because it's the first time that we've done anything like that in Deda here at the Derby City Centre, and people can call the box office to book on 01332 370 911. So that's Derby 370 911. And if we do have people in Leicester listening at the moment, or, you know, maybe Leicester might be a little bit closer, next Saturday on the 12th of January, I'm running a 2 hour masterclass there at the African Caribbean Centre.
And my producer, Amy, has asked, can you come and run some sessions here at Radio Derby?
Of course I can. I would love to.
We can all sit in the studio and kind of go through something like that.
Yes, I mean, mindfulness is on the increase to the point where corporates are employing people to come in and do mindfulness, because it's proven to increase happiness, reduce stress, reduce anxiety, improve quality of sleep, increase creativity, which is another reason why, you know, it's really big there in the workplace. Schools for children, mindfulness is there at the top of the agenda. I think it's fantastic that we're starting to take it back to basics now and realise it's not just about physical health, it's not just about our physical diet, but what is our mental diet and what's actually going on with our mental health.
Pam, best of luck and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Satvinder Rana on BBC Radio Derby.